Hello, I'm PDYX.
And I'm AntKeepsGaming, and welcome to Playing It Wrong, the show where we play random online Nintendo games and talk about them.
That's right, each episode we're going to take one random NES game and one random SNES game from the games available on the NSO service on the Nintendo Switch, and we're going to play them for at least 30 minutes each and talk about our opinions of those games.
Playing It Wrong, Episode 4.
All right, here we are, and we are talking this time about StarTropics for the NES app and Donkey Kong Country 2 for the SNES app.
I like how you said 2. Like you actually said, it's my British like rubbing off on you.
Donkey Kong Country 2. I don't know.
Donkey Kong Country 2? Because David would say like that, wouldn't he?
Diddy Kong's Quest is the subtitle on that one.
Yeah, I got so confused. When you said Donkey Kong Country 2, I think, did he mean the Diddy Kong's Quest one? Because you sent me him and I was like, did he mean this one? He's got to mean this one. It's the only Donkey Kong Country 2 here. So it must be.
Yeah, there's not much Donkey Kong in this game. He's only dangling. I don't know. This is spoiler.
Really?
But I guess this whole thing is, right?
Spoilers.
He's dangling from like a string at the end of the game and you rescue him.
Oh.
Let's start with the NES game because I think that makes sense and that's what we've been doing, I think.
Yeah, that's I mean, except for the Super Tennis. If it's a sport game, that would be played first to get out the way.
Well, StarTropics. Interesting game. I went and read the manual before I started playing it this time. This time I read the manual before anything else. Can you believe it?
See, you're the sensible one. I still didn't do it.
And good reminder to read these because it actually gives you like some of the background story, which, you know, you don't really get in the game.
Yes.
You're going to visit your uncle on a remote island or whatever.
What made me laugh was they said about your uncle, Dr. J. not your uncle like J or your Uncle Bob. It's literally your Uncle Dr. J.
Your uncle, Dr. Jones. Dr. Jones, he's like an archaeologist, presumably, right? I think. I don't know that we got that far, but like, this is very much like an Indiana Jones ripoff, I guess.
Yeah, but instead of a whip, it's a yo-yo.
Yeah. And you have a yo-yo. It's weird because it definitely feels... I mean, I guess it's a Japanese game. Like, it was a Nintendo, made game in Japan. But, like, definitely kind of feels a little bit Western in terms of some of that stuff. Like, what Dr. Jones and all that. I'm sure that's not what it's called in Japanese, though.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting with this game because it felt like I was playing a Pokemon game, but mixed with an old Legend of Zelda game. So that's what it felt like to me. So I say I didn't play many NES games, and if I did, it was like I said, the main ones. But even still, it wasn't very long. So I played your Mario, I played the old Zelda. But any of like these, like Cuckoo Land, I've never played before in my life. StarTropics never played. But it kind of, to me, it seems like where Pokemon got their material from. It seems like they probably went to StarTropics to get like, because when I was in, I got to chapter 2, and I was in like a submarine. I was thinking, oh, this feels like, surfing on a Pokemon, but obviously no Pokemon. You expected a Pokemon to pop up, like around, somewhere. But then you're also battling like in caves, like Legend of Zelda, and doing puzzles. So it's kind of like, and even like the pads I was jumping on in the first chapter. That still, even though it's like Legend of Zelda-ish, it still felt like Pokemon. It's like, I joked around. They said, oh, do these pads make me go fast like Pokemon? the pads you get in like Team Rocket's HQ. I just compared it just to Pokemon constantly. So I don't know how you thought about that.
No, I'm not a Pokemon person, so I don't have that frame of reference. But the Legend of Zelda analogy, I think, is spot on. The caves aspect, it feels like an old school Zelda game, and sort of you go from room to room, and you have to clear the enemies to open the doors and stuff like that. I thought that this game was okay at first. That sort of old NES overworld map is always a little nostalgic for me, where it starts out. And you're this little chibi character running around on that. Did you find this weird? Like, so you're this chibi character on the map. You're the chibi character in the town. And then you switch to like a more full-fledged sprite when you're in the caves. That's weird, right? Was it weird?
Yeah, it was pretty weird. Yeah, I know what you mean. I didn't think about it first, but when you said it, I was like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah. Yeah, it's really weird how they change the art styles. I guess, as I said, we were just talking about, like, it switches from Pokemon to Legend of Zelda. That's the only thing.
Yeah, it's exactly like the art style does too. Yeah.
I mean, how far did you get in it anyway?
I did not make it to chapter 2.
Oh,
I got to a part in the caves, so there was like, okay, so you go through the caves, right? And there's some sort of snake boss somewhere along the right way where you fight them with fire sticks or torches or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I got past that, and then I got to another area where I was just having a little bit of trouble clearing the room or getting through it, where you're jumping across those, green platforms, which are everywhere in this game when you're like going across water.
Yeah.
And then there's like kind of like a blowfish popping up and shooting at you while there's some other enemies jumping around.
Oh, okay.
And I was having a hard time in that room, and I kind of gave up there.
I didn't come across a blowfish. I guess that's the...
there are multiple paths in this game too, right?
Paths, yeah, because like I fought the snake, defeated the snake. Even I was spamming it with all my torches. Even though I was like, oh, it fires, and then you jump on the pad, and I just spammed it constantly with torches, regardless. I was like, just die. And then until I had to get up close to it and do some like pro skills, and then just jump. I literally had to get right up close to its mouth and use my yo-yo because it wouldn't reach that far. And as soon as it opened its mouth, I had to literally just jump back and then jump to the left really quickly. So it was quite, but it was quite easy though, even for a boss, I thought. But yeah, I managed to defeat the snake. Didn't encounter blowfish, and that was it. I was on to chapter 2, which I was in a submarine.
Okay. So, I don't know if it's a blowfish. I'm not sure. I just got stuck in this one room and maybe it was an optional room or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. It's because I didn't encounter it, which was really odd. So yeah, I'm doing chapter 2. I'm in like a submarine / boat thing. And I said it felt like he was just on top of a Pokemon, surfing. Got to this like lighthouse. Well, it was like you go through this tunnel to get to the lighthouse. You get like this docking place. You get out where you get out of the submarine so you can go onto land. But the weird thing out of everything we've just talked about was this man said, "Oh, hey, like in this lighthouse, my wife's down there in a little hut. If you want to keep her company, I don't want to keep."
I did get to that. Yeah. I'm sorry. I did do this. I got the submarine too. I completely forgot. I think I was just like, I blanked out on all that. But as soon as you're like, my wife's in the hut, I was like, oh yeah, I had to figure that out, where you kind of go under. Yeah. To figure out how to go under and through the islands. Okay, I did make it to this part too, Anne. I'm sorry.
That's right. But that was the weirdest part for me. It's like, oh, can you go to the little house where my wife is and keep her company? I'm thinking, I don't want to keep someone else's wife company. just want to play this game. Just do stuff.
The place I got stuck was in whatever caves are after that.
You got further than me then, because I couldn't get the bottle on the beach. I tried every single way and I just could not get to it. So I didn't know how to get to it. She said, there's a bottle washed up on the shore. You should go check it out. I was like, I haven't seen a dolphin, so check out the bottle. And I was like, yeah, I can't get to it. I don't know how you get to it.
There was a little puzzly element there of like, you could go under some... Like, it doesn't look like it, but you can go under some of the land. Yeah, I don't know.
I tried every single place. I tried going under. I tried going over, but there's a tree and a rock. I tried, because the water shimmies, so where you can go under. And I looked all around and tried every single place, and I just couldn't get under anywhere. So I don't know where I went wrong, or if I did. It's just really weird.
We're recording these pretty much weekly right now, and I played this game very soon after we first talked. Like, you know what I mean? So, like... Yeah. I know this makes me sound like somebody who's very bad with memory, but like, it's so funny that I couldn't remember all this stuff. I have no idea how I got to that bottle. I don't remember it. I just did it somehow. But I do remember banging my head against the wall a little bit about it, being like, how do you do this? But I figured it out at some point. And then there's a cave, and then that cave was harder.
Oh, God. Well, after this episode airs, you could see my playthrough. I literally was stumped. I could not figure out where to go. I tried everything. Everyone was like, "Oh, maybe you should go through the stars." I was like, yeah, I've just done that. Maybe you should. Oh, go on the land. Yeah, I've done that too. And it's like like water that's lighter blue, so you know that's kind of like the barrier, so you can't go that way. I was like, where do I go? I just don't know where I go. So yeah, I was stumped to that bit. I don't know if I don't know.
That was a little tricky. I will agree. Yeah. I figured it out, but I don't remember how. But I also feel like when I first started playing this game, I don't know if you felt this way, but I was like, oh, this doesn't feel as hard as some of the other NES games we've played.
No.
But then it started to in the second series of caves, or the third, or whatever it was.
See, the only time I used like the save states or rewind was just to check stuff out, because like, again, you're the sensible one, you should manual, I don't. I thought maybe you could just jump into the water. I jumped into the water, died. Right. And I literally said, I was literally just testing the waters. Literally testing the waters.
Right.
With this. And then I rewound it, and it was like, yeah, okay, I just rewind it so I know what I'm doing. And then I think another enemy killed me, and I was like, no, okay, just rewind that. It was only a couple here and there. It wasn't many as I usually do. So that was kind of goes, but still enjoyable, but frustrating. It was more harder in a different way, like puzzles. Not hard as in bosses, but I didn't get to the part you got to, so I couldn't really say much more than that.
I do feel like there was a little bit of a difficulty spike after that part where you get the bottle, and then you go to a new cave, and it started to feel like a frustrating old Nintendo game again.
Oh no.
I don't know how I feel about this game. I don't know that it feels like it holds up or is worth playing unless you have nostalgia for it or something, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if the game was, I guess it'd be too easy, but if it was the first chapter, just like that, but more puzzles, maybe, instead of like, I guess it was harder enemies then in the caves. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what it is? It's this too. It's that like you don't get much health. We've had this experience in a lot of NES games. I feel like they're not generous with giving you. In this case, it was hearts that you have and lose. Very rarely would you kill an enemy and they drop a heart.
Yeah, I don't think I had any enemies that drop hearts. I think I just lost.
It
health.
happens, I promise you, but it's super rare.
Yeah,
and that's like, man, there's a couple of rooms where like there's one room where there are these 4 enemies that spawn. They're like starfish looking things, and they just kind of follow a physics pattern where they bounce off the wall and then go the opposite direction. But there's 4 of them, and so at first it's really hard to avoid and not get a hit or two. That room was messing me up a little bit too, and it's just like, man, give me a heart, like
anything.
Anyway, I don't really have much else on this. It's an interesting game, I guess, for history wise, and I think like a lot of these NES games, if you really feel the need to go play it, look up a guide.
Yeah,
look up a guide.
Be sensible. Be a Patrick. Look up a guide. Don't be an ant. Be a Patrick.
Don't bang your head against the weird submarine going under land to find the bottle thing.
It's not worth it.
No, it's not. The other game we played this week, I'm a big fan of this game, Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy Kong's Quest.
Which I've never played.
Now you have, and I think this game holds up. It's a little challenging compared
definitely.
to modern games.
I think it is definitely the hitboxes, and it's a bit slippery. That's how I say it. Slippery is the controls, for me anyway. But obviously I didn't grow up with these games, so that's just me saying it. But it could be a bit different for you because you did grow up with those games, you see. So
yeah, but no, I think you're right about the hitboxes. I feel like maybe a little like tease for something we'll talk about in a minute. We just played a little bit of this together, but like for example, when I was trying to jump over those bees when you're hanging on that rope, I feel like you have to just time those jumps perfect. You know what I mean? Like it's really easy to hit those.
Yeah, you have to time them, but also you got to kind of know with the hitboxes as well. Like as Patrick said, we played it literally before this episode together, and I did better with Patrick than I did by myself. And
you were killing it, yeah.
But I don't know why. I think the only reason why, because I only played it yesterday, and but again, like when I played by myself, I did terrible. Like I was hitting those wasps all the time, reloading. I was reloading, but not as much again. Probably more than StarTropics, but not as much still. But it was just a wasp hitting me, and it's just like, oh, really? It's just the jumps. I think another thing we've got, well, you might know this anyway, but I noticed with the jumps, you got to hold down the B button to jump higher. I know that's kind of standard in Mario games and games like this anyway, but I think in this game, it's kind of...
It feels weird, yeah.
It feels weird, but yeah, you got to definitely hold down that jump button in like some of these games as well. Because I know you was going... You was talking about last week where you select was a feature in there.
Yes.
And I was using it, so I think the whole jumping and running, I felt like I can run in there like Mario as well. It's kind of a lot. I know it's a Nintendo game anyways, obviously, right. So it's going to be... But they've got some like Mario mechanics in there as well.
Hold Y or whatever,
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so I think this game is pretty tough later on. Like, you and I just cleared the first world pretty easily, but like some of the later levels get really tough. And it gets challenging, and I highly recommend using save states and just save scumming your way through some of those because to keep it enjoyable. But this is definitely one I recommend. If you like platformers, if you like the Donkey Kong series and you've never played it, man, it's one of the few games that I have already beaten on this SNES app, but had never previously played until the Switch. I don't know what else to say. Like, it's a Donkey Kong Country game. It handles, as you said, like them. It's weird because it's Diddy Kong only, and I always think of Donkey Kong as handling kind of heavier and rougher than like Mario or Sonic or something. But this handles similarly. It's the first game with Dixie Kong too. Dixie Kong's the best.
Okay.
Best Kong.
I didn't know that. That's new to me. I didn't know that was the first Nintendo game she's been in. So
yeah.
Interesting.
I think so. If I'm wrong, somebody can correct me. But I'm
in the comments. Definitely, there's gonna be someone.
Pretty sure that's true. Yeah, I mean, solid platformer, tough, and some rough hitboxes, but still pretty fair.
Yeah, tough but fair. That's a good way of saying it. Really, tough but fair.
Anything else for you on this one, or should we talk about us playing it together in that experience?
Yeah, I was going to just say about like us playing it together, like of not just us playing together, but like trying to set up so you can play with somebody else, because it's not what you think. Probably people are thinking, oh, you can play at the same time, kind of.
Yeah, like I think as was the case for platformer games for a long time, and understandably, you can't. We're not both moving around kind of like the old Mario, and then now it's Luigi's turn. It's a little better than that because it's like if we're both on there and I die, then you can just jump in right where we are, but like only if we are both there, and then if we both die, we're gone. But like, yeah, we don't get to play at the same time. And after having done, played Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, which, Ant, by the way, I recommend, is one of my favorite platformer games of all time, where you can play 2-player at the same time, it's kind of hard to go back to this and be like, why can't I just move Dixie Kong around or whatever?
Yeah. I don't know what else to say, but like, I mean, I think it was kind of cool actually playing with you on that, because I said, like, not only have I not played, well, I played it, I could say now I played it now, but before that I haven't played it, but it's good to play with someone as well. But again, you're not going to be playing at the same time, but you are, so you won't be like, oh, I'm going to wander off this way and Patrick will wander off that way. You actually have to wait until somebody else dies. So but we didn't mind swapping out here and there as well, which is good. So
it's about as good as that situation could be, right? Like where you're not playing at the same time. It still feels like you're invested because you might need to jump in at any moment. And then also, like, this is not exactly related to this game, but it's just kind of the app aspect of us playing it online, because I think you're on a different continent than me, and maybe because we were also voice chatting through a different program, we didn't have the best connection.
Yeah, it was like red and yellow, flicking red and yellow constantly.
It was 0 bars, but it let us play. But so I was seeing a lot of stuff that wasn't happening, which is interesting. Because, we all talk about how Nintendo games have bad online and all that, but this has got rollback, because it would do predictive stuff where it would think you were going to get hit by an enemy, and then it would pop you back. And so I would like watch you die and think, oh, it's my turn to play. But no, it just then teleported ahead a minute or whatever, a second,
Yeah.
So that's weird and interesting to me.
See, that didn't happen for me. Like, it was just normal for me. I was just watching you. Like, but I guess some of the time, or most of the time, that you was by yourself and I wasn't trailing behind you, but then I didn't really see that. See, that's really weird.
Yeah.
So,
well, I don't think we'll have occasion to play that again, but if we do play something else together again, maybe we will record it and get to see show that aspect off. But I think that's cool. Like I'm glad it does that, as opposed to like slowing us down. You know, in a platformer, having that lag would just be awful. So interesting fact there. And we're going to definitely have to do that again if we get like a really good co-op play at the same time game. We're going to have to play again online. Yeah,
if we get Super Switch Heads to 350 subscribers, we stream it. Like the David fanfic thing. 350.
Or you up to some number of followers or something, right?
Yeah.
Well, anything else on either of these games, Ant, before we move on and pick our would you recommend people play?
Yeah, I was going to say like a verdict maybe. I mean, I didn't get far enough for StarTropics. I mean, I'm not very good with puzzle games, and I don't like puzzle games anyway, you know. But I know someone said, well, you played this game, but I know, but it's probably easy. But
yeah,
if you want, I mean, it's with any games, if you think this is worth it and you had these games growing up, yeah, then go for it. But if you're like me and just don't want to do puzzles, yeah, or it's too hard after the first chapter, then just don't do it. Donkey Kong Country 2, yeah, I recommend that. I mean, I think it's not only it's, you know, worldly known, but also, you know, I still feel like it holds up. I mean, to me, it's like no difference from like a hard game now with just missed hitboxes, to be quite honest. So,
and maybe like a little bit rough on like saving or something, but like, yeah, but maybe not even. I mean, it's tough because it's like, if you're saying, hey, I've never played a Donkey Kong Country game and I want to play one, I'd be like, play Tropical Freeze, because that's the most recent and it's got all the modern conveniences, and I actually think it's a really beautiful game, and I just think it's a great game. But like, if you have Nintendo Online and you're curious to check out a Donkey Kong Country game, we'll go check them out, because they're there for free and they're worth checking out.
Yeah, or I mean, like if you want to get into you know, Tropical Freeze or just see what it is before that, then these games as well. So yeah,
you'll have a less polished experience, but you'll know that. Yeah.
You know what pain is. No, I'm joking. No, Demon's Crest. That's the one.
Yeah, definitely don't play that. You ready to go ahead and pick our games? Any predictions? What are we gonna get? I don't know.
I'm hoping it's a good balance, like one hard game and one good game, but I can't tell you what they are.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, should we do it?
Go on. Yep.
All right, I like the countdown thing. You count down and tell me when to stop, okay?
Well, did I count down or did I count up? I can't remember.
Either way.
Okay. All right, then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. Oh boy, okay. I don't know anything about... Okay, I do know something about the first game. First game, the NES game, is Donkey Kong Jr.
Okay.
And the SNES game is Doomsday Warrior.
Never heard of that one.
But I don't know, is Donkey Kong Jr., what is that?
I think because, what was it? The whole lore, I don't know if I'm wrong on this. I think Donkey Kong Jr. is Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong in that game is Cranky Kong. I think. Right,
but no, I think this is... Yes, I think you're right, but I think this isn't like the original Donkey Kong game.
No, it's like you got to rescue Donkey Kong again. But I think you're on Vines, if I remember correctly. I've never played it, but I've seen people play it.
I just looked it up, and you're right. Like it looks like you're trying to rescue your father from Mario, and you're crawling across vines and stuff to like rescue him on different stages. Cool, yeah, Donkey Kong Country, or I'm sorry, Donkey Kong Jr. I have Donkey Kong Country in my head. Donkey Kong Jr.
Kong
I'm gonna have to look
Jr.
up this other game. Doomsday Warrior. What is this? Do you know anything about this?
Nope. Wait, you're asking me?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you do.
I don't know nothing. Nintendo 64 was my era. All
right. Doomsday Warrior is a...
Let's have a look. I'm going to look at this as well. Actually, I'm on the app. Why am I searching it? I'm on the app.
It's a fighting game. It looks like it says, I'm reading on Wikipedia that it was kind of created during the height of like the 90s, early 90s trend of fighting games.
Doomsday
like Street
Warrior,
Fighter. So I'm guessing it's kind of like a Street Fighter.
No, come off. I don't want to play this yet. No. It's here. Yeah, I see it. Okay. Maybe I'd had to Google it then. Oh, yeah, it's like... yes, I'm looking at images now. Yeah. Okay.
Well, all right. I guess that's this episode. Next time, we will be talking all about Donkey Kong Jr. and Doomsday Warrior. Thanks for listening to Playing It Wrong. This podcast is a collaboration between Super Switch Heads and AntKeepsGaming. Check out the weekly Super Switch Heads podcast, and also check out AntKeepsGaming on YouTube. Our music is provided by Ben Legion. Thanks again. Bye.